Hello, hello, everyone. Happy New Year's Eve. Oh my God. Can you guys believe it is the last day of 2020? I can't believe it. Oh, Ken, I love you so much. Oh my God, Ken, you are my new best friend, and I already really liked Ken a lot. But Ken has started this chat off well. He says I would never want to hurt her feelings, but the camera makes her look bigger. She is actually much thinner in person. I met her at the Beverly Hills Walkaway rally. I, Ken, I love you. I love you. um yeah, I hate being I mean it's funny too because like I hate being on video. I actually hate in real life being on video. I hate having my picture taken and all that stuff. So it is ironic that I've ended up in this little position here. But listen, guys, I really just wanted to come and hang out for a little bit and just do a little reflecting on 2020 because it has been genuinely the craziest year of my life. And I have some ideas for 2021 that I kind of want to run by you. I hope some more people come to the chat. Guys, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button if you haven't already. And we're gonna see if people actually want to show up and have a chat, or if people are already out having New Year's festivities. Um, and yeah, let's see. Xera says, "I hate pictures. I don't blame you." I mean, I've actually gotten in 2020 like much more. Oh, Adam is here. Adam is here. Smash the like button just for Adam. Um, I mean, I've gotten definitely much more used to being on camera and much more used to having my picture taken in 2020. I think that's probably actually a good thing. And it's funny because I've been for a while now really comfortable speaking in front of people because I mean I like I was a professional speaker. Like I was doing keynote speeches in front of thousands of people in person even leading up to all this, and I was always comfortable with that, but I was never comfortable being on camera or any of those other things. So I'm definitely much more comfortable with it now. I don't always like it. It's not always my favorite thing to do in the world. I even put on makeup today just to look a little bit nicer. But listen, that's not really what I wanted to talk about. Guys, it is New Year's Eve. It's the last day of 2020. We made it. I'm a little disappointed that the aliens have not revealed themselves. If I'm honest, I really, really, really wanted the aliens to reveal themselves. I absolutely believe aliens are here, by the way. I'm one of those crazy people. Um, but 2020 has been an eventful year, and I was watching. I decided to do this stream last night when we were watching. So Right Side Broadcasting did a great little retrospective of Walkaway in 2020 last night. It premiered on their channel, so you can, like, definitely take a second to go and watch it at some point today. It's not really that long. It's maybe like 20 minutes, but it was just like a good overview of like a year in review of Walkaway. And so I was watching this last night, and I was sitting on the couch with Victor, and it was a surreal experience for me to watch it. It was like, this is not my life. Like I can't even it's the oddest thing in the world to think of myself as being the person that did all those rallies with Brandon and Shamika and Mikey, and to actually see it kind of played back, it was just the weirdest thing. And I looked over at Victor and I said, "This is still the surrealist thing that I've ever experienced in my life." And you would think that I would get a little bit more used to it simply because it's almost been a year. Dude, it's almost been a year. I mean, this journey started, well, the Trump rally was in February. So we're coming up on a year of me being out as not being a crazy leftist, and doing all this stuff and being much more public than I've ever been in my life. And it's the most bizarre thing. So I guess maybe I'm gonna go back. Maybe I'm just gonna do a little bit of a year in review. So this time last year, I actually know what I was doing. I was probably sitting on my couch. I was knitting. I was finishing up. Actually, stand by. Last year on New Year's Eve, I actually finished this shawl with about half an hour left to go in 2019. I was actually finishing this shawl, which has all these great colors and has some fuzzy in it, and it's like a really, really cool shawl. It's got some green, it's got some nice gold, and wait for it. It's got some beautiful, beautiful maroon color. But I finished this last year on New Year's Eve. And so I was sitting downstairs and I was watching YouTube, and I was just, probably like watching channels like this, thinking, "Oh, I never thought I would do this." But that was probably what I was doing last New Year's Eve. But I had been watching a lot of YouTube to really try to understand why all my friends went crazy. And because that's what happened. I mean, I don't know. I don't actually know how, like, I obviously a lot of you guys know that I kind of started waking up because social justice invaded my knitting community, but it actually kind of started even a little bit before that, where I had a group of women who I had been friends with for a really long time. And I mean, we're talking like over a decade. We even had a name. We call ourselves the Kittens. I actually have a kittens tattoo because of this group of women that I was just really close with. And they actually did a little mini intervention with me before even all the knitting stuff went down, and they did it over Facebook Messenger, which I thought was the stupidest thing in the world. But they said, "Carlin, you're just using too much gendered language, and you need to stop, and you need to shut up and listen to Black people." And I remember like having these little interventions from people that I knew that I had I didn't that I thought were like good people, that I thought were like sane. And it was no, I'm not gonna show you the tattoo because it's on my leg, and it'll be really hard, but I do actually have it. No, I remember, like, thinking, like, "What is going on?" Like, I was so confused by all of it, like, why do they care if I say, "Hey, guys," or why are they all of a sudden, out of nowhere, telling me to shut up and listen to Black people? And I was basically excommunicated from, my group of friends because I was like, "No, like, this is stupid. Like, I just don't understand it. I didn't understand it at all." And so long story short, I it wasn't even just the knitting. The knitting kind of happened around the same time, but I was just so confused as to what was going on at the time. And so I turned to YouTube as a way to try to like figure it out and understand it. And it was like it's something like, I mean, like people say like, "Oh, you're a psychologist, you should have known this." Well, yeah, but that's not the type of work that I do. That's not where my head was at. And I don't think anything could prepare you for when entire groups of people just start to completely change language and like use it in different ways. And your friends, it feels like your friends are getting taken over by Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And so I was just watching all these channels to try that, and they explained it to me and they helped. And I was so nervous. I remember when I started donating to the channel which shall not be named, since they've since stabbed me in the back. That's a whole other story. But like when I started donating to my first channel, I didn't even use my real name. Like they put my name in the credits, and I was like, why don't you use my screen name? I used Dr. Carlin B. And I was like, that's kind of stupid because people can Google it. But I was actually genuinely scared of people knowing that I was watching this stuff and I wasn't a crazy left winger. And I think it's important for people to know that because I was on this call last week, and I was talking about how it's important that people speak up and they speak their minds. And there was this like kind of condescending, arrogant douche on the call, and he said, "Well, Carlin, it's easy for you, but it's not necessarily easy for other people." And I think what I wanted you guys to understand is that it wasn't always easy for me either. It wasn't always easy for me at all. I was actually terrified. Um, Adam, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later. But I told you about this like a couple weeks ago, but I'll remind you later who stabbed me in the back, the former SJW. Anyway, um, so I was scared to speak up too, and and then I went to the Trump rally in February because I was like, well, like why not? Like why not just see? And then I wrote the article and I got booted out of the closet. And it's been such a crazy ride. And I look back and I think like, is real life? Like I'm doing this stuff now. But I mean everything happens for a reason. And I've talked, at least to my locals. I don't know if I've talked about it as much on YouTube as ding ding ding, Ken knows the answer. I don't know if I've talked about this as much on YouTube, but I really do believe that everything happens for a reason. And there's like it's like a method to the madness, right? There's a reason for all of this stuff, the good, the bad, and the otherwise. And I think in retrospect, this was actually one of the best things that could have happened to me, not just because it's put me in a position to be able to speak up about things that I feel strongly about, to be able to fight back against the woke nonsense, and all this stuff. Definitely that's true. But but in terms of I mean, even just with COVID, like my business got decimated by COVID. I had so much business planned for 2020. Oh my God, guys, June of 2020 was supposed to be my biggest month ever. June of 2020, the amount of business that I had booked that I ended up losing mostly because of COVID, not entirely, but almost entirely because of COVID, was going to fund my business for the entire rest of the year. And I say that because it's actually it was such a blessing that I was able to that my channel just started to grow really really quickly, and and I had the support of so many of you, and that I could actually like make a living out of doing this stuff because COVID killed my business, man. I was doing in-person facilitations, I was doing keynote speeches, I was doing a lot of in-person training and workshops and stuff like that for organizations. And could I have made a run of it with virtual facilitations? Yes, but I hate doing virtual facilitations. I absolutely hate it. And so I think it was actually really perfect timing. It was perfect timing, at least for me. And I know a lot of you have struggled, and I do feel bad about that. But at least for me, like everything worked out really, really well. Where I kind of needed a break from my business, from a lot of the things I was doing in my business anyway, especially consulting. I hate consulting. True story. I hate consulting. I like coaching. I like doing trainings. But what all this with YouTube and, you know, being more public allowed me to do is it allowed me to refine my business and to be able to focus on the things that I really like. Like I still do coaching. I still do executive coaching. It allowed me to do stuff like that and not have to worry about where I was going to make a living from, because it was fantastic in that regard. So let's see what happened this year. So I went to the Trump rally in February, and then my article blew up, and I was like on all this, all of a sudden was like on all these conservative shows and people who I never in my life would have anticipated connecting with, like Glenn Beck especially, man. I got to tell you, like I've told this story every once in a while, but like the only thing I knew about Glenn Beck, honestly, is that my father hated Glenn Beck growing up. Like, I mean, hated him. And that was all I knew, because I didn't watch Fox News or any of that. I was like, those stupid Republicans, whatever. But he has been like, like being on Glenn Beck's show like multiple times. He's also been tremendously helpful with other stuff, kind of with the whole hotel thing. He was really helpful with that actually. And so I mean, I never would have imagined that. I never would have imagined like having a PragerU video. I never would have imagined going on Dave Rubin's show or any of these things. I mean, these were like Dave Rubin was someone who I watched just like on YouTube all the time because I liked the guests that he had on. And it's just the most surreal thing. And then right when things were kind of going back to normal, Brandon Strock reached out to me and was like, "You want to come do these rallies with us?" And I really, at that point, when we started doing the Rescue America rallies back in June, I think it was, I really needed to get out of the house. I got to tell you guys, like, listen, I love my husband. I love my husband. I do. But I was used to traveling a lot at that point, and then to be basically locked in the house with my husband working from home where neither of us ever left for months on end. I am truly convinced that the Walkaway Rescue America rallies saved my marriage. That is not like an exaggeration, and it has nothing to do with my husband or like anything he's doing. It's just like I needed to get out of the house. And so started doing these rallies. We started in Baltimore. I didn't think when it all started that I was going to be doing all of the rallies. I mean, the only one that I had planned, like Brandon had asked me to do the one in Baltimore, and he had asked me to do the big one in DC, but I really thought that that was going to kind of be it. And then in Baltimore he asked all of us to come out to LA, and of course, like I'm like, yes, I like, I mean, Joshua lives in LA, so it was a chance for me to go out and see him in person, and hang out with him. And so it was like, of course I'm going to do that. And then it was just like every weekend after that, we just kept coming back and back and back. And I never anticipated spending the entire back half of the year with the walkaway crew. And this is actually something I wanted to reflect on a little bit because, after my article went viral and I all of a sudden like had all this attention and had a platform, I was thinking a lot about how do we bridge the divide? How do we help people on the left to essentially, here was what I was really thinking. How do we help people on the left to see the right in the way that I got to see them, which is this community that is like much more open-minded than I ever thought, and much more open to ideas and all of these things. And I wanted people on the left to be able to see the right like I had seen them, that they weren't evil and Nazi and racist and all that stuff. And so at the beginning of my journey, I was really focused more on how do we create this dialogue. And then I started doing the walkaway rallies, and there was definitely a shift. And this is actually a shift I've reflected on quite a bit because, I mean, if you look at my Twitter on any given day, I'm not having productive dialogue on Twitter. I'm not. And on frankly a lot of social media, I'm just not. I certainly have shifted in this regard, in that I think productive dialogue is important. If I am talking to someone who I feel like is talking to me in good faith, I will engage in it. But for the people that are not operating in good faith, I have zero patience anymore. I have zero patience. And I am perfectly willing to get in their face and to say whatever I need to say to put them in their place and to get my point across. And I mean, I hear flowers in her hair saying, "Carlin, it's Twitter." Well, yeah, but here's the thing is like I you know, I I feel so contradictory about that. I feel like I'm having two, like, this is cognitive dissonance for me. Whereas I love shit posting. I love it. I love it so much. I love mocking people who I think are behaving stupid, and part of me feels really bad about that because I'm like, Carlin, you're a psychologist. You should know better. But at the same time, I feel like doing the walkaway rallies and spending essentially half of the year with that team, it's like they brought out the fighter in me. I'll say this for Brandon Strock. Brandon Strock is a fighter, and Brandon Strock, I absolutely do believe, if it came down to it, would die for his cause. I really do. That guy knows how to fight. He works so hard, and I mean, and of course, like everyone around him. I mean, Shamika's a fighter too. Mikey's a fighter. The entire team, and to basically spend like half the year with them, I think that brought out the fighter for me in a way that I kind of almost really pushed it down, because you guys gotta understand, like, I was doing a lot of training around mindfulness, so being very zen and calm and, "Oh, it's all about what I'm contributing to the situation," and I do believe all of that stuff, I really do, but there is a disconnect between, you know, a more like spiritual, mindful approach to different scenarios, like interpersonal conversations and things like that. There's a disconnect between that and being a fighter in this arena. And I guess I don't know what the right balance to this is. I think what I've been trying to do is do what feels right at the moment and just trust my intuition and trust my gut. But I really do believe that walk away specifically has brought out the fighter in me. I mean, listen, you guys know I saw someone post about the Dallas incident. I think that was kind of when I broke. Dallas is when I broke. Like, and Dallas was a week after Milwaukee, right? So let me just recount the walkaway rallies. We did Baltimore first. Baltimore was so hot, and like it was like 100 degrees out, and no one showed up. No one. There weren't that many people that showed up in Baltimore, and it was like really wasn't that much going on. Then we did LA, and LA was so big and so fun, and it was like it felt so good. I cannot even tell you how good being at that rally felt. I was so proud of Brandon. I mean, it was just like I remember like coming up to like standing beside him at some point in that rally and like patting him on the back and saying, "Look what you did," and it was just so incredible. And then after LA, I think we went to Milwaukee after LA, and that was where I had the whole hotel incident where I got kicked out of the hotel because I still maintain it was because I was wearing a MAGA mask, and I still maintain that I did not do the things that they accused me of. I mean, and they've never been able to provide any evidence, no videos, no photographic evidence. They refused to release keycard evidence. They put a woman out on the side of the street in the middle of the night after I had taken sleeping medication. By the time the guy from the conference that I was there to speak at came and picked me up, I could barely even speak straight. I was so out of it. And it was really dangerous. And that whole incident really was traumatic. I mean, like I really I mean, you go back and watch the first video I did the day after the hotel incident. I was not all there. I was not all there. And what a lot of people don't know is that like I basically went into after the whole hotel incident, where I got kicked out of the hotel in the middle of the night. It really it was I actually well I'm gonna keep this story short, but I want to give you guys context for this, and I want to be transparent about this. I actually put myself as like two different forms of therapy after that. I was doing stuff to deal with the trauma of it because it really was traumatic, whether or not people want to believe that. I was also put myself like right into like hypnotherapy essentially to be able to deal with it. And what I was trying to do is I was trying to essentially nip PTSD in the bud because I was already having symptoms of it. I was already very withdrawn. I was getting very depressed. And it was a really difficult thing for me to deal with. So I had that. And then literally a week later, we went to Dallas. I feel like I'm missing a rally or something, but it was like a week later. It was not that long after that. Or maybe it wasn't a week later, but it was like there was that, and then there was Mikey and Brandon got attacked by BLM outside of the White House, and then we went to Dallas, and it was something like that. It was like some weird thing. I don't know exactly remember all the timing, but the Dallas thing happened not too long after the hotel incident, and that was a whole other thing, man. Like that getting chased down the street by Black Lives Matter in Dallas was genuinely one of the most terrifying things that's ever happened to me. More terrifying than being put out on the side of the road by that stupid hotel. I see Mike saying sue the hotel. I never really followed up on this. I mean, guys, just so you know, like, I did talk to a whole bunch of lawyers. I ultimately decided that at least right this second, I don't want to because it was going to be a much bigger pain in the ass, and like than a lot of people understand. It was not an easy thing, and it was going to be a giant pain in the ass, and I probably wouldn't have even gotten that much from it. And honestly, I just didn't want to. At the end of the day, is like I never wanted to sue the hotel. That was never the goal. And like I wanted an apology is what I wanted. I wanted them to admit that I didn't actually even do I did not do the things they said I did. Obviously they're never gonna do that because then I probably really could have sued their ass. But you know, I mean, I never wanted to sue them. That was never my jam. I think it's a giant pain in the butt, and I didn't like any of the lawyers that I talked to, and they were all kind of rat bastards, and I was like, "F this." Like I had other things to worry about. So, I suppose I still could if I wanted to. I don't think that that's the right path. I kind of generally think that 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 things that you're supposed to do come easy. Like, I think on some level, I'm supposed to do this YouTube stuff. I don't really understand why, but I think on some level I'm supposed to because I mean, it came really easy for me. I'm so blessed. I mean, you guys are so fucking great. Like, I'm so blessed to have the support of so many of you because this just came easy to me. But like the whole hotel with the like and finding lawyers to help and figuring that whole thing out did not come easy. And at some point, I was like, if this was supposed to be the path that you were going to go down, like it should have been easier than this. So I just like, so that was kind of what happened with that. I just kind of was like, okay, well, these assholes are lying about me. I hope that most people have the good sense to know that they're lying, since they literally are incapable of producing any evidence to back up their claims, and I have time-stamped evidence for everything. Literally to this day, I have time-stamped evidence for everything. It's funny, when they finally released their kind of like minute by minute account of what they said I did, I have a timestamp that I was literally DMing with Adam on Twitter at the same time that they said that I was running up and down the halls of the hotel banging on windows or something. So I mean, maybe I could have been tweeting and doing that at the same time, but I don't really think normal people do that. So there was that. Then there was Dallas, which was incredibly traumatic, and that sucked. Uh, and I mean, looking back on it, like I think there was a reason that that happened. I frankly think that if I'm honest, I think that we had been kind of getting a little lax and a little uppity. And I think that maybe getting chased down the street by a Black Lives Matter mob was what we needed. It was like the good swift kick in the ass that that we needed to take security and stuff more seriously. And I will tell you that security was absolutely upped for the walkaway rallies after Dallas. We definitely took it much more seriously. And I have to thank Brandon and his team for that. But so there was that, and then we just kept doing the rallies, and then leading up to election day, and we all know how that went. And is probably still gonna go. But a lot of people have asked me if I regret um what I did in 2020, and I don't regret it at all, not for one single minute. This year has been incredible. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I think that the thing that I'm most happy about is that I did have I've had to do so much reflection this year about what are the things I really believe, and what are the things that I really value, and what are the things that are important to me, and what kind of contribution do I want to make to the world, because that's very important to me. I never I think this might be different simply because I came to this a little bit later in life than a lot of, like, there's so many young YouTubers that have never had real jobs or really haven't had to do that. But I always think in terms of like, what am I building and what am I contributing, and how can I help people doing do in this way? And one of the reasons I think I kept kind of running my mouth on the internet was because I saw it as a way to help a greater number of people and to serve a greater number of people. Even if that's just making fun of something that I think is stupid. Well, guess what? By making fun of that thing publicly that I think is stupid, that gives other people permission to make fun of it too. And it gives other people permission to speak up and say, like, it gives other people permission to speak up and say, I think that's stupid too, where they might have been a little bit, more hesitant to say that out loud at first. And so, I don't know. I just I s It's still so crazy to me. Let me take a look at some of your super chats, and thank you guys so much for sending in the super chats. It really does, it helps me out and supports it. But let me just take some of these super chats right now. And I'm gonna talk also about some of my plans for 2021, and I'm also gonna talk about, I wanna take your questions. I want this to be an ask me anything. I just kinda wanna hang out for a little bit. I'm gonna be on Adam's show tonight at 6:30, so I got a little time to kill. And so I just want to say, I want to just look at the chat real quick too, because you guys are saying just some really lovely things in the chat that aren't necessarily super chats, and I want to acknowledge that. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, Ken says, I remember how shook up you were after the hotel incident and hurt me to watch. I really was shook up. I mean, that was real. That was not fake. There are some people that have accused me of like faking that whole thing for like clout or credibility or to build a platform. Here's something I don't understand. Okay, I want to talk about this for a second, because I've been definitely accused by some people of like, trying to be controversial to build a platform. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. That would not even have occurred to me. And like, there were definitely people after the hotel thing that like accused me of that. And I'm like, that literally wouldn't have even occurred to me. I don't understand people who do that at all. I don't see the point in it. I would, I'm gonna speak up and I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm gonna say what I think, but I don't understand people who just create hullabaloo because they're like, there, it's going to help me build my platform. Well, if you're building your platform based on controversy, you're only ever going to be able to build your platform based on controversy. You're not ever going to be able to do it based off of who you really are or what you really think. Um, so I just thought that was stupid. All right, I'm looking at the chat. Let's see. In my next lifetime, marry a lawyer. I don't know. I think I married pretty well in this lifetime. I think I did. I think I did. Oh, you guys are talking about Linwood. Yo. So I have to say, I want to say something good before I say something not so good. Linwood has been very generous with Walkaway, and I'm very grateful to him for his generosity with Walkaway. And he's talked about it publicly, so that's why I feel like that I can say something about it. But Linwood is nuts, yo. He's nuts. He's crazy. And there's a thin line between genius and madness. And I get it, man. I think that he has genius to him. I really do. I think he has genius to him. He wouldn't be as successful as he is if he didn't have genius to him. But Lynn, like, you gotta like relax, man. You gotta relax. Howman 2112 says fate brought you here. I actually really do believe that. And I don't mean to sound like a pompous douche, but I really do believe that on like a really practical level. Um, let's see. Pink Milkman Bubblegum says, I'd be so lost in this madness without you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, that's really awesome. In a parallel world, Carlin has a Reagan tattoo. I mean, I have a lot of my body that's not covered in tattoos yet, and I do want to get many more. So I gotta get this tattoo touched up. This one right here. That I can't. Oh, I don't even know how to show that effectively for the camera. I gotta get that one touched up. That's my next big project. Um, thank you guys. All right, let me do some of the super chats that have come in. And then we're going to talk about some other stuff. Yeah, Linwood is taking a page from Trump. I don't know about that, but maybe he's trying to take a page from Trump. I don't know. Trump probably has the thin line between genius and madness as well. Tom Bowersock says, longtime listener, first time chatter. Thank you for all the anti-insanity videos you post, and Happy New Year. Thank you for that. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be posting a lot more anti-insanity videos in 2021. That's part of my plan. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. Tech says, Happy New Year. Thank you for that. Naruto0076 says, you hear US has the first case of the UK virus? I did hear that. And I am just as unimpressed as everything else that's COVID related. Cyrus Cherry says, love that you're into stuff like meditation. Try the book Loving What Is and the Power of Now. Yeah, I think The Power of Now is a great book. I'm going to be going on a meditation retreat in April that I'm really excited about. It's going to be in Chicago. It's like an advanced meditation retreat. I'll tell you guys more about that when that's coming up, but I'm really excited about that. Hang on. I saw the V word come up in my I don't think I need to continue to explain this. I don't think I need to continue. This is the one question I am not going to answer of the Ask Me Anything because I've answered it 18,000 ways from Sunday. So I'm just going to say that. We're going to put that to rest. Naruto says, instead of saying the left, maybe you should say Democrats. The far left doesn't want to see us as human. Well, yeah, dude, but like what you got to understand is that not all Democrats are far left. They're not. A lot of them don't understand what has happened. They just don't understand what's happened. And so I think like saying the Democrats, that's not descriptive either. The best descriptor I think is the left. And I don't have maybe the progressive left. But the Democrat, like, you can be a Democrat and really not understand what's happened. You can. Andrew B says, I'm so glad I discovered you. You help keep us sane. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate your support. Anne says, hey, Carlin, greetings from a fellow Yarny. Do you know an alternative to Ravelry? I mean, there are definitely alternatives to Ravelry that are out there, but I'm not giving up on Ravelry, man. I started a group on Ravelry called Crafting Rebels. It has about 400 members in it, and I'm going to go into their backyard. I think that this idea of running away from technology platforms. And Lord knows I'm actively being like, Facebook is actively screwing with me right now. So I understand the inclination. But but like I don't think that running away from platforms is the right answer because you basically just cede them. You just give over the territory. And I don't think that that's the best way to be. I think that we should be fighting people in their backyard. I think that we shouldn't be afraid of staying on Facebook and Twitter and Ravelry and doing what we want to do and letting them always know that we're there. And, stay and fight. If you don't stay and fight, you're just as much as part of the problem as anything else. And I do not understand people on the right who just want to leave everything and go off to Parlor and play in their like amongst themselves. That's no different than the left guys. Like we have to stay and stand up. If you believe that freedom of speech is an essential liberty in this country, then act like it. You have every right to say what you want to say on these platforms. And yes, I understand there's a difference between private business and government, blah 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 blah. I get it. But I'm talking about the spirit of it more than anything else. So, I think that anyone can stay and fight. And I think that's what people should be doing. Let's see. Ken says, "Can you explain the obsession people with tattoos have with getting more tattoos than they can stand/afford? Because tattoos are fun. It's art. There are some amazing tattoo artists, and it also for me, it marks a point in my life. It marks a memory in my life, and I don't have even the tattoos of my with my friends that have now disowned me. Like I don't have any regrets about that. I'll probably get it covered up one day and get another tattoo right over it. But I love tattoos. I think tattoos are beautiful, and I think that it's just I think it's very cool to wear art and to have it be something special for you. And I think it looks cool. I want to get sleeves at some point. I want to get at least one of my arms to have a sleeve. Um, but I don't know when I'm gonna do that. But I do want to, and I want it to be super colorful and awesome, and just I want it to be like a burst of color. Let's see. Elizabeth asks, "Can anyone join your crafter group? I don't knit." Yeah, if you're on Ravelry, it's called Crafting Rebels. I'll even bring it up. Hang on, I'll bring it up real quick so I can show it to you guys. Okay, hang on. Share screen. Oh, it's not showing because I haven't shared it yet. Okay, here we go. Boom. So if you go to the group tab on Ravelry, it's got this crazy old lady with the martini and the devil horns. It's called Crafting Rebels. We have 396 people so far, and it's just a group. It's just a group. It's actually like the most unexciting thing in the world. There's not even anything that's going on in there right now. But what I like about it is that they know that we're Trump supporters, or at least that we don't support their censorship, and we're right in their backyard. And there's actually trolls in the group. There are people who spend all day in that group just disliking the posts. That's all they do is they spend all day just disliking the posts. And I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. It's like one of those things where like you can't kick us out because we aren't breaking your rules, but you know how much we disdain you fuckers. So I think I like this little like form of protest. I think it's fun. Yeah, anyone can join. You are welcome to. Naruto says, like Dave Rubin refusing to leave California. Like, exactly. That's why he didn't leave. I mean, I think he should have left, but he wanted to stay and fight, and I totally get it. Elizabeth says, "I want to get a tattoo of my favorite quote. It is such a quiet thing to fall, but far more terrible to admit it. I don't get hate for tats." Yeah, I mean, I think that would be a great tattoo, but if you're going to do that, you need to like bring a friend and everyone needs to proofread that tattoo like 87 times. The only one that I have words in is this one that I can't really show you. Hang on, let me see if I can find my Instagram. I might be censored on Instagram from going live, but let me see if I can find my Instagram. I'll actually show you guys a good picture of this tattoo from when I first got it. But this tattoo has words in it, And I was so paranoid about it. I was like, everyone has looked at it. Everyone has approved of the tattoo. We all know that it's all spelled correctly, right? Um, Hang on. This was like a couple years ago, so it's taken me a second here. Oh my god, I'm looking through some of my old pictures now from like the whole year. Oh my god, what a crazy year. Look at this. Okay, you guys are gonna go down memory lane with me. This picture right here is when I was with Ari Melber at the MSNBC taping right before the Trump rally. How crazy is that? Oh my god. Oh my god. This is like when I went with Pete Buttigieg's campaign to look, I saw the Democrats. Like this was a couple of days before the New Hampshire primary. Tom Steyer. I love Tom Steyer. I do. But I saw all of them in person. You can see people still think that I lied about being a Democrat. I did not lie about being a Democrat. Oh, there's the shawl that I finished on New Year's Eve 1 year ago with an hour to spare. Let's see. Where's my tattoo? See, me with Pete Buttigieg, just for anyone who might question if I was ever a Democrat. I think I'm almost there. Check this out. Me in a Beto hat. That's real. I still have that hat. It's still hanging around. Okay, we're almost to the tattoo. There it is. There it is. Found it. Found it. Found it. That's the tattoo. So I was so paranoid when I got this. I was like, everyone needs to make sure this is all spelled correctly. Yeah, I saw Elizabeth Warren actually a couple times in person. Elizabeth Warren was freakishly likable. I have a selfie with her too. Hang on. This is Victor and I in Vegas when we renewed our vows with Elvis, and it was awesome. And I knitted my dress, obviously. And Victor was wearing a shirt that had hound dogs on it and blue shoes. There we are with Elvis. There's me with Marianne Williamson. And then where Elizabeth Warren? There she is. Told ya. Told ya. Oh, God. Walk down memory lane. Maybe we'll come back to that. Let me see. I think I got some other super chats in. Sarah C says Democrats became left, not liberal. We need to show we know the difference so the liberals feel they have room to move our way. Saoirse. Do I have that right? Saoirse. So you can give me pronunciation. I didn't even see it. So yeah, I totally agree with that. It actually drives me crazy that on the right, the term liberal is a pejorative because it doesn't like there are liberal just means freedom. It just means like it that's what it means. And it's not a bad thing. There are good liberals. Donald Trump is more liberal than Joe Biden. I know you guys don't want to hear that, but that's actually the truth in the actual definition of liberal. So I really do wish the right would stop using that as a pejorative because I still consider myself a liberal, man. That has not changed. Armani V says tattoo idea, a mythical hydra wherein the heads are Joshua, Adam, Mikey, Brandon, Trump, and your husband. I don't think that's a good idea. I think I'm going to veto that idea. We are not going to be crowdsourcing my next tattoo. I have to draw the line at crowdsourcing a tattoo. Okay? And then Very Angry Citizen says, do you think with all our resistance, the Great Reset crap will succeed? I'm scared to death and willing to kill to prevent this nightmare. By the way, you effing rock. Thank you for that. So it's actually something interesting I saw today. I'm going to pull it up. James Lindsay tweeted it, so I know exactly where to look for it. Oh my God. Hang on. Let me get James Lindsay. If you guys aren't following James Lindsay on Twitter, by the way, you're like missing out in a really big way because he has just absolutely run out of fucks. Like, just gone. And it's fabulous. Da, 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 da. Hang on. Oh, okay. Here it is. Here it is. Okay, so check this out. That's not what I want. No, that's what I want. The ADL, the goddamn Anti-Defamation League, tweeted a new conspiracy theory formed earlier this year called the Great Reset. Among other things, the theory creates dangerous opportunities for ordinary Americans to be drawn deeper into the world of conspiracies. The latest from our Center on Extremism. The ADL's already on it, man. They're already on it. They're like ready to go. And of course, James Lindsay responds with all these things about the Great Reset from the World Economic Forum and Time Magazine. And you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. World Economic Forum. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I'm not as into the Great Reset stuff as a lot of people are. I'm sure I'm going to be learning more about it, but I think it's all nuts. Okay, let's see. Naruto says, "Can we all agree this election debunked the myth of being able to buy the election? Two billionaires ran as a Democrat and lost." Yeah. And David Skidmore says, Elizabeth Warren Trump. I never supported Elizabeth Warren. I never supported Elizabeth Warren. I didn't say I ever supported Elizabeth Warren. I got this selfie with her because, well, I went and like I said, like I saw every single Democratic candidate in person. Like it's just something to do. I mean, why not? They come to New Hampshire. Like it's easy enough. It was like I saw Elizabeth Warren 20 minutes away from my house. Like it wasn't like it was a hard thing. And so why wouldn't I go and see what they had to say? What I did say was Elizabeth Warren was freakishly likable. She was. She went through like likability training or something because I was shocked. I was like, what the hell happened to Elizabeth Warren? Because she was really likable for a bit of it. So I would not say I went to from Elizabeth Warren to Trump in any stretch of the imagination. Mm. All right, let's see. Oh my god, you guys are so generous with the super chats. Charm3 says thank you, and you're so supportive, and I so appreciate all the super chats, and especially this. This is a nice big super chat, so I really appreciate that. F 2020, here's to a great 2021. When you walk in the light, love and truth wins. Happy New Year. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I agree. All right. Speaking of 2021, let's talk about some of my plans for 2021. And then I'm going to open up the floor and we'll do a little Ask Me Anything. Guys, if you want to get your question in for Ask Me Anything, Super Chat is definitely going to get it answered. I will hang out here until I've answered all the questions that come in via Super Chat. Once I do all those, I will be looking at the chat. So if you want to get your questions in for Super Chat, that really helps me out and, of course, supports the work that I'm doing, and I greatly appreciate it. But I will honestly try to answer questions that just come in the chat too as I kind of see them. Ken, and I'm answering this because Ken is such a great supporter. What's your drink of Adam's show tonight? What's my drink for Adam's show? I don't know, like probably water. I'm not going to drink for Adam's show. I was actually thinking about ordering sushi and getting sake with it. So maybe I'll have some sake. Who knows? Who knows? Do I have a Discord? No. I have too many things, dude. I don't understand how Discord works and I don't really want to be hanging out with like gamers, to be honest. Like it's just not my scene. I'm sure it's perfect for some people. It's just not my scene and I don't understand how it works, and I have a locals, and so locals is the place that you want to join. I am going to be opening up membership on my channel, and I know I can integrate that with Discord. So maybe I'll have to figure that out with 2021, but we'll see. Let's see. People are saying my hair is getting longer. My hair is getting longer. I always wanted to grow my hair out. So I'm still shaving the sides though. I need to shave the sides. It's getting way too long on the sides, but it is getting longer on top. I don't like gamers. I like some gamers. I don't like all gamers. I think that like gaming culture is weird to me. I just don't understand the obsession with it. I just don't. And so I think that it can get a little bit bro. I know that's like I it's just like a little bit too bro for me and a little bit, it's a bit much. But if it's your thing, man, it's your thing. You enjoy every single second of it. Okay. let's see. I want to talk a little bit about my plans for 2021. So the biggest thing that I'm working on right now is I'm finishing up a book proposal. I will hopefully be writing a book in 2021. I've already had publishers approach me or approach my agent anyway. And so I'm just finishing up a couple things for the book proposal. Now, along with the book, what the book is going to be, assuming someone buys it, which I suspect they will, but I don't know that for sure yet. But assuming that someone buys the book I'm writing, it's basically going to be like I'm going to basically do an intro level primer to woke. Right? It's going to be a really heavy pushback against the woke ideology and it infringing into I mean, basically all aspects of life, but with particular emphasis on the everyone is a racist that we don't agree with crap, explaining that to people in really layman's terms. Because, listen, hang on one sec. I need to clear my throat, guys. Sorry, I'm having trouble talking. Give me one sec. Maybe I have COVID. Maybe I do. No, I don't. I'm fine. So I love and adore the work that James Lindsay and Helen Pluckrose and Peter Boghossian and those people have done, pushing back against the critical theory and the woke and all that stuff. But, but, and I say this being halfway through cynical theories right now, it's too verbose to me. And I understand it, and I think average people can understand what they're doing and they can learn so, so much from it. And I think it's so necessary and so critical. But to me, there is still a gap in between what they've done to demystify social justice and critical theory and helping average people understand it. There's still a gap between what they're doing and what I think is going to be more digestible to just an average person. So I want to do something like creating a simple explanation for what is critical race theory. Why are they changing language? What do they mean when they say shut up and listen? What is their ultimate goal? I want to have it be super, super like dumbed down, might be the best term for it, but also it's like I want it to be really easy for the average person to understand. And that to me is still a disconnect between something like New Discourses, which is awesome. And I'm not saying anything bad about it because I think it's awesome and necessary, but it's very wordy and you have to spend a lot of time with it. And I think that average people need a really simple, like overt explanation for what is this stuff and what is going on. And so that's kind of what my book is going to be. It's going to be part memoir. It's going to follow my journey of really kind of like demystifying this nonsense for myself, but then also explain it to people in the simplest possible terms. And this is something that I happen to like, I'm really good at this. This is something I did all the way through when I was doing my PhD work. I actually had a blog where I would take scholarly research and I would dumb it down to say, okay, here is this 22-page journal article. Here are the bullet points that you need to know. Here is what they're actually saying in very human and relatable terms. And so that is what my book is going to be. I'm also going to be launching a website that is going to do exactly the same thing. Now, I've also been inspired because I have been going back and watching a lot of Andrew Breitbart, and I read his book and I've been thinking a lot about that. And I'm really been inspired by the way that he just unapologetically took on these people and like got in their faces. And so I kind of want to do the same thing. And so I'm going to be creating a master calendar and a master list of all these stupid woke trainings. I'm going to be doing a lot more live stuff on YouTube where I'm kind of like watching and reacting to these woke trainings and these woke documents and all these things to really explain it to people and to really kind of go with them, to be honest, like to get right in their face and say, this is stupid. Here is why it's stupid, and pick apart the arguments that they're making almost in real time. So I'm going to be creating a website for that. I'm going to be creating resources around that for people to be able to go into their workplace and ask the right questions, to be able to go into any of these trainings and ask questions. Like if your local library is doing like a how to be an anti-racist training, I want you to be able to go into that training like a little subversive ninja and ask the right questions to disrupt that training enough where you might actually be helping some of the other people that are watching it and not understand and they're not understanding what they're seeing. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing a lot more stuff on YouTube in terms of I want to get more consistent about doing live streams where people like you guys can come in and hang out and we can dissect this woke crap nonsense together, kind of like I did yesterday with yesterday I did a live stream of a live reaction to a webinar from the American Medical Association where basically we went through the webinar and paid real close attention and said, okay, here's what they're actually saying. Here's why this is stupid. Here's why this is ridiculous. All this stuff. I want to be doing that because I think this stuff does need to be picked apart. And I think it does need to be done in a really overt way. And I want to do it in a way where I'm also taking the opportunity to teach people why this is not good. And I'm going to be doing this across schools. I'm going to be doing this across businesses that are doing this stuff, across professional associations, 100%. Professional associations, man, professional associations are really starting to piss me off because they're pushing all this nonsense on people that they should be serving in much more relevant ways. So those are some of my plans for 2021. Now I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of other stuff that comes up. Um, and we're just gonna see. I really this past year I tried just to go with the flow. I tried to just relax into it and just take it and just roll with it when things came up. And I think the same is going to be true for 2021 because we really don't know what's going to happen. So, what do you guys think about those ideas? I'm sure I didn't actually explain them very clearly. What do you guys think about those ideas? I'm just going to pay attention to the chat real quick and try to clear my throat. All right. Jason says, Josh dropped by to say Happy New Year and to smash that like button. Yeah. Oh, Elizabeth asked a great question. So, guys, I do have an email account set up specifically for the anti woke stuff right now while I'm still building the website. It is actively unwoke at gmail.com. If you have any documents or anything you want to send me, send it to activelyunwoke at gmail.com. And I'm going to put that in the chat right now. And if you send in anything to that email address, I will 100% protect your confidentiality. I'm not going to reveal your identities. I'm much more interested in the documents and all that stuff than I am in, like, outing you. So activelyunwoke at gmail.com. Yeah, Colin says counter subversion. That's exactly what it is. I want to do a little guerrilla attack on these people where we are walking into the fire like Andrew Breitbart would have done, and we're going at them where they are. Oh, I'm from Vermont. I am from Vermont originally, dude, and I'm sure it is very woke. I'm positive of that. All right, let me take a look in the super chats. Let's see. Naruto says, I don't trust 2021. It's literally 2021. WON. That's funny, dude. Byron says, did you say you have a Discord? You are already I have an emoji in Adam's Discord. I think I knew that, but I think I hadn't paid close enough attention to it. Okay, I do actually have Discord on my desktop. I think I've only used it once. So I will go to Adam's Discord and I will look for my emoji. And that's all I will do with Discord for right now because I have no idea what it is or why I should use it. Someone needs to guys, I used to be great at technology and now I'm stupid at technology. So someone needs to explain technology to me if you actually want me to use it. So someone needs to give me a Discord tutorial. Sasha, the book lover, says Locals is great. I really enjoyed listening to you this year from a lifelong conservative. Thank you, Sasha, the book lover. And then we got Elizabeth's super chat. So, guys, what questions do you have? I'm happy to hang out for a little bit. Again, I do have to get ready for Adam's show at 6:30, so I will be on there tonight to celebrate the end of 2020. So if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to take them now. Let's see. Have you seen the news about the app being developed for proving that you've had the COVID vaccine? Yeah, I've seen it. and I think it's creepy and Orwellian as all hell. Um, doo-doo. Yeah, dude, I'm old, okay? I'm old. I know I don't always look old, but I am in fact old. Colin says starting a YouTube channel tomorrow. Plan to bring intelligent analysis and operations planning to a walkaway Republicans type movement. Okay, well, I wish you the very best of luck, man. I do wish you luck with that. Oh, Jen! Jen! Oh my god. Guys, if you are not oh, excuse me. If you're not following Jen, Jen is awesome. Jen, you are one of my first supporters that I really remember. Jen says you're one of my fave discoveries of 2020. Your courage and perseverance through challenging times has inspired me. Also wanted to say thank you for your support this week with my launch. Unexpected, but much appreciated. Guys, Jen is a coach. I know she's a fabulous coach and she is launching a program. So definitely Google her, get on her website, look at her coaching program. I know that if it's what you're looking for in terms of like personal reinvention, it's gonna be amazing. I have no doubt whatsoever. So definitely look up Jen O'Toole if you're looking for that sort of thing. Ken says I look even younger in person. Thank you, Ken. Ken is just trying to kiss up. That's what he's doing. Ken is kissing up. Guys, I see a lot of people asking about the Great Reset stuff. Honestly, like, I can't right now with the Great Reset stuff. I can't even tell. Like, my brain is in a million different places right now with the anti woke stuff, and I can only focus on so many things at one time. So I'm really not paying attention to the Great Reset stuff. I know there are a lot of people who are. I happen to not be one of them. I'm sorry. I can only do so much. I am one person. I'm doing the best I can. David said, "What are you, 40?" David, you're supposed to pretend I'm 30. Okay? You're supposed to pretend I'm 30, David. That's what polite men do, is they pretend that women are younger than they are. I'm not 40 yet either. I still have 4 months until I'm 40. God damn it. Ugh. Let's see. Kristen Summers says, Carlin, you made so much sense in 2020. I have thoroughly enjoyed the locals group. Thank you. Keep being a voice of reason for us all. Happy New Year. Thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, exactly. I think Carlin looks really good for her age. I swore she was in her 20s. Thank you, Darth. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. If you don't know a woman's age, you assume that she's 25 or 29 at the oldest. You don't assume she's 40, David. Oh, Glenn Beck's writing a book on the Great Reset. That doesn't surprise me at all. Doesn't surprise me at all. My wife says women are 29 forever. That's very true. Yes. Although I have to say, like, my 30s were significantly better than my 20s. Oh my God. My 30s were so much better than my 20s. What's my favorite book from classic literature? Mine's Pride and Prejudice. I do like Pride and Prejudice. I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite classic book, to be honest. Maybe like To Kill a Mockingbird. I like that book. Oh, you know what book I like? And this is a children's book. I know it's a children's book. I know, but it's kind of a classic. The Giver. I really like The Giver. I really like that book a lot. I actually had to read. I took a children's literature class in college because it was like an easy A, and I had to read that book in that class, and I really enjoyed it. Let's see. I'm not answering the question about the former SJW. Ken already knows the answer. People in the chat have already said it because I just don't. It's pointless. It's really sad for me, to be honest. Like, it's truly really sad. I was really, really depressed when it happened because I just did not see it coming at all. And I wish them nothing but the very best. I mean, people might not believe that, but I really do. I don't wish them ill. I just wish they hadn't stabbed me in the back. That would have been nice. Yeah, Artemisa is a snitch. You are, Artemisa. You are. Let's see. Elizabeth says, do you think it's unreasonable to be optimistic for the new year? No, you should be optimistic. Listen, you should be optimistic. You should. You should always expect great things. If you don't expect great things, you don't leave space for those great things to happen. So be optimistic. Be positive. Look at the positive things. Look at all the opportunities you have. I guarantee you, everyone in this that's watching this, you have so many more opportunities probably than you even give yourself credit for. And like if you aren't positive, if you don't have an optimistic mindset, you're never going to be able to achieve the things that you could have otherwise. I mean, listen, success is only possible when you believe that you can be successful. If you don't believe you can be successful, then you can't be. You've literally stabbed yourself in the foot before you even get started, or shot yourself in the foot before you get started. So don't do that. Um be optimistic. There's so many good things going on in the world and so much opportunity. Always be optimistic no matter what. Doesn't matter if Biden's president or not. Be optimistic. Gwenda says, if it's not a repeat question, what was your first knitting project and how old were you? I was probably like 25 when I first started knitting. I had always done crafts and like all that sort of stuff. My first knitting project though was like it was like at Joann's. I went to like Joann's Fabrics or some like chain craft store and just got a kit. I just got a knitting kit. And it was a scarf and a hat with really crappy yarn, and came with needles and a book that explained how to do it. And my first project was a scarf, and scarf sucked. I think I actually still have it somewhere. It was a bad scarf. Um, but that was my first project. That was 15 years ago. And then I knit off and on. I did a lot of knitting in my late 20s, and then I kind of stopped for a long time. Because when I was first knitting, we didn't have yarn like this. We had like boring, synthetic, like crappy yarn that you would get like Michaels or Joann's Fabrics, which is fine. Like if that's the yarn you knit with, that's fine. Like whatever, we all have to make our own decisions. But once I discovered beautiful hand-dyed yarn, or like, ooh, that one. Like I was hooked after I discovered beautiful, expensive hand-dyed yarn. And so that really started probably 3-4 years ago. I got really into it. Um and I've been knitting ever since. Katie says scratchy yarn. Yes. Well, I mean, not all yarn is scratchy. Like merino yarn, this yarn is not scratchy at all. Not scratchy at all. It's beautiful and it is soft and it is lovely. And I don't even know how to wear this thing. It's like, it's a really weird shape. There we go. Now I'm nice and cozy. T. Michelle says she quilts. I always wanted to learn how to quilt. Quilting is incredible. I have a sewing machine somewhere. But I'm so obsessed with knitting that I don't have any time for quilting. Nope, not a poncho. It's not a poncho. It's a shawl. It's just a weird shape. I think quilting would be fun. You can make so many cool patterns and so many amazing things. I don't think she's ever gonna apologize, Michelle. She thinks she's right. I mean, she thinks she's right. She thinks, I don't really know why she thinks she's right, but you know, whatever. T. Michelle asked, when did I work at Dartmouth? I worked at Dartmouth. Oh God, 2006, 7, 8, something like that. Something like that. I mean, that actually sounds about right. 2006, 7, 8, in that era. I almost I almost went to graduate school there, actually, because I did get into Dartmouth. Like, you know, I do around here somewhere have an acceptance letter to Dartmouth. And I almost went to graduate school there. But I ended up working in their development office when they were raising $1.3 billion. I mean, T. Michelle, I actually lived in Norwich, Vermont for a while after I stopped working at Dartmouth. I lived in Norwich, Vermont, which is, people who don't know, it's like literally right, like Norwich, Vermont is right on the border of New Hampshire, and Dartmouth is like right over the border. So I lived 2 miles away from Dartmouth until May 14th, 2011, which is when I moved into the home I have now with my husband, who was my mover. That was how I met him. He was my mover. Elizabeth says, I worked at Joanne's, worst job ever. All the Karens. Oh, dude, I bet. I bet you. I'm just looking at the chat, guys. Oh, guys, look, subscribe to Jen's channel. Jen O'Toole. Make sure you subscribe to her channel, because I'm sure she's going to do awesome videos. The ones I've seen on Instagram are awesome. Do I plan on making more videos on organizational psychology? Maybe. I've thought about it, actually. You know what? A funny thing happened the other day. I accidentally auto-renewed something that I was using for my business to, like, teach courses, and I didn't mean to renew it because I thought the renewal was up in January, but it was really up in December, and so I accidentally auto-renewed something for, like, 1,000 goddamn dollars. And so I was like, "Well, I probably should use it." So I actually can use it to make courses and do videos and stuff like that. And so it is not out of the realm of possibility that I will be doing videos around organizational psychology in 2020. But honestly, like the actively unwoke stuff is going to take priority over that for at least like a little bit, because there's a lot of stuff I want to do around that. But that's not it's not necessarily out of the question. I mean, I miss what I do. I missed my work. I miss doing those trainings. An organizational training, just like an hour-long presentation about burnout the day before, 2 days before election day, something like that, like the week before election day. And I realized how much I missed it, and I've been doing coaching and stuff, but I really do miss doing the training. And the reason I haven't been doing the training is A, COVID, but B, it's been like I needed a break, man. I really did. I needed a break, and I feel very blessed to have had one, but I do miss it. And so it's not out of the realm of possibility that I will go back to doing it at some point. And I'm really effing good at it. I'm really goddamn good at this stuff. Not to pat myself on the back too much, but I worked really hard to get good at it. Cindy says, will you and Josh continue your Tuesday night show? I mean, yeah. I don't have any plans to stop that. I mean, he may have plans to stop it. I don't know, but we haven't talked about stopping it. I mean, I think he wants to keep doing it, so I have no plans to stop that anytime soon. Favorite free thinkers you're listening to anywhere on the political spectrum? I don't know. To be honest, I'm not really listening to a lot of political stuff right now. I'm just not. I'm not. Because I think a lot of it just got too negative for me, and so I kind of stopped, after the election, I just kinda stopped watching a lot of the political stuff. And you know what I've really been watching is scammer videos. Victor can attest to this. I made him watch scammer videos all day on Christmas. That's really what I've been doing. But if you have favorite free thinkers that you think people should listen to, feel free to chat them in. Let's see. Am I going to Washington on the 6th? Obviously. I wouldn't miss that. Come on, man. Of course I'm going. It's going to be awesome. Let's see. Yeah, I bought my plane ticket and booked my hotel the second that they announced it. So I'm there. Absolutely. Elizabeth says, I wish you could do training at my library job. I mean, maybe I will. Maybe I will. All right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap it up simply because I really am losing my voice for some reason. And so I don't really know what's going on there, but because I do have to do the show with Adam later, I do want to just rest it up a little bit. Oh yeah, Rosa Dawn is great. I like Rosa Dawn quite a bit, actually. Mikey Harlow, make sure you subscribe to Mikey Harlow. I don't know if I think Shamika Michelle has a channel, but make sure you're subscribed to like all the walkaway people. Of course, I'm always want to support them. Make sure you subscribe to Return to Reason, who's Truman. Make sure you're subscribed to to oh god, what is the name of Deborah's channel? I think it's like The Reason We Learn. The Reason We Learned. Deborah, she's awesome. Christian Watson, make sure you're subscribed to him. So many good things going on, guys. Again, I really just wanted to pop on to do a quick stream to thank everyone sincerely for the support that you've given me this year. It's absolutely unbelievable. I never would have imagined that this would be what I'm doing, and I'm so grateful for all of you and for the love that you've shown me. It means the world. I really can't say thank you enough. I wish there were more ways that I could say thank you, but I do genuinely mean it. Sasha the Book Lover says, if you haven't read Rainier Reich's Letters to a Young Poet, you really should. He's a great thinker. We'll put it on the list. All right, guys, I'm going to go chill out for a little while, but Happy New Year to everyone. Tune into Adamcast IRL a little later on tonight, and I wish you all the very best wishes for 2021. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next year. Bye.